Some Linux distributions release on a set date regardless of whether they're ready or not. Other distributions try and release around a similar time in the year. And then we have Debian, who only release when things have been checked, and double checked, and then checked a few more times just for good measure, resulting in one hell of a stable system that's very far from the bleeding edge. So having been around for 20 years, we now have the new release of Debian Stable, version 7, which is codenamed Wheezy. So in this video, I'll be looking at the LXDE version of the distro and taking a look at some of the new changes they've made, starting with the new graphical installer. Well, it's just based off the old command line installer, but it's got a more user-friendly graphical interface. Well, IPv6 is now fully supported, but I don't have IPv6 on my network, so hey, we're just going to fall back to the old one. Give my system a host name, and then we've got the old set root password and set user password. So look, it's a virtual machine, we don't need complex passwords here. Particularly because if I did put a complex password on, I'll forget it. Now, although we've got a nice graphical interface, there's no auto partitioning, so you're going to have to do this part manually. I just want to wipe what's on there, so I just backed out of it. No, I shouldn't have done that. Right, just guided. Use entire disk, that'll do. Yep. So it's easy if you're just using OneDrive and all files in one partition. Yep. The default file system is now ext4. And now onwards with the system review. Under the hood we now have Linux kernel 3.2, which is fairly old now, so if you've got any hardware that you've purchased, well, since 2012 onwards, probably not going to work too well with this kernel. Take note, NVIDIA users who have a 600 series card. We also have support for Multiarch software, so 32 and 64-bit applications will run in this version of Debian. Codecs are pre-installed, and you can listen to MP3 audio without having to go through that awful job of installing all the codecs separately from a repository. With Debian, you have to make it pretty much what you want. You'll notice here that I've only got a couple of folders. I've actually created those ones under my home folder. You don't get anything. You have to go and create the folders how you want. So, like in Ubuntu, we have documents, downloads, videos, music. It takes a little bit more work with Debian. Not difficult work, but you have to make the effort. There's very few applications pre-installed. As you'll see here, under accessories we have just a fairly minimal amount really. We've got a file manager, calculator, image viewer, leafpad text editor, terminal, and a couple other things. Under graphics, it's just LibreOffice Draw and Xane image scanning program. Under internet, just one web browser, it's Iceweasel, which is a rebadged version of Firefox. Others got quite a few things in it. It's just a bit weird really what they've done here. Under sound and video, it only comes with LX Music Player, which, bit trouble understanding how that one worked. So I just went and installed Rhythmbox, and well, for video files I've got VLC Media Player. And for system tools, really nothing much under there. You've got the Task Manager, Report Bug, and a couple of terminal programs. For preferences, you've got Synaptic Package Manager to install applications. There's a reasonable amount of applications there, but there's no pay for applications like we have in Ubuntu now. In fact, I wonder if you can get... No. You can't get a Steam client through Debian. Not to say you can't install it, you just can't install it from the repositories. But hey, if you want anything else from there, they have an emulator, an old Atari emulator. Ah yes, now we've got a games menu. Woohoo, I can now play old Atari 2600 games, and I do have a stack of them. And also under preferences you can customise the look and feel of the system, so there's quite a few themes pre-installed. But the applications in here don't look too bad. I'm definitely not keen on those GNOME icons. Incidentally, the GNOME desktop that you get with Debian is version 3.4, so although it's the newer desktop, it's the newer version before they started really trashing it. And you can also get XFCE and KDE desktops. In conclusion, well, Debian is not the most easy to use system, but that's not the point of it. The whole idea of Debian is a rock solid, stable platform for you to build on, so it's going to require some manual reading and a fair bit of work setting it up. But the good points of it, It becomes in a variety of flavours or different desktops. So you've got a GNOME, KDE, XFCE and LXDE desktops, and you've also got a minimal installer for you to build your own custom system or custom distro from. It's more suited for businesses who require stability and minimal downtime, so you see a lot of web servers using Debian. And it's also suitable for the home user who is prepared to set up and customise their system, or in fact consider that the more technically able person setting it up for a more technically illiterate relative. Hey, once you've done it, they've only got to keep the system up to date, and it should be working absolutely fine since after that. And bad points, well, it's nowhere near the bleeding edge, but if that's your requirement, you'd be using Debian testing or SID. But overall, I have given the distro 82%. So thanks for watching, see you later.